Tang sarvabhutaridayam Munimanatosmi Bhaktya Vihina Aparadalakshay Chiptasya Kamadi Tarangamadye Kripamaitvam Sharanam Prapadyam Prinde Namaste Charanarvindam Tavaivasmi Tavaivasmi Najivamitam Vina Iti Vigyaya Radhe Tam Nayamam Charanantike Angashamalim Chatabirabito Mandi Kritandivaram Chadyam Jagudarochi Sambhakaratam Patambarasya Sriya Vrindaranyani Vasinam. Page 18 of the songbook. Vrindaranyani Vasinam Ridilasat Tamabhiramo. 18 of the songbook. Radha Skanda Nivesh Chalabhujam Dhyayamadamodaram Dhyayamadamodaram. Because this is the month of Damodar. So Dhyayam, I'm meditating on that Damodar. Which Damodar? If you look at the last line, you'll see Radha Skanda Niveshito Jalabhujam Dhyayamadamodaram Dhyayamadamodaram. So he's leaning his, what does it say? He's leaning what?
His left hand.
His left hand on?
On the shoulder of Srimati.
He's leaning his left hand on the shoulder of Srimati Radhika. What is the significance of that? The significance is that he can't walk without her. He's completely dependent on her. Otherwise he'll fall down. Get it? Everybody get it? Got it?
Tomorrow we got these.
Huh? Beautiful. Okay, great. So, I hope everybody's packed. You need warm clothes. You need a month's worth of clothes. And is everybody packed up?
Yep.
Okay, well, fortunately, yes, let's do that. Because I forgot it. Kripayati yadi radha padita shesha badha kema parambashishtam pushti maryadeyorme yadi vadati chakinchit smera soditasrir dvijavaramani panktya mukti shuktya tadakim Shama Sundara Shikanda Shekara Smeraha Samurali Manohar Radhikara Sikamam Kripanete Swapriya Charana Kinkari Prananata Vrishabhanu Nandini Sri Mukhabjara Salola Satapada Radhika paratale kritastityam tam bhajami rasikendra shek sambadaya dashane trinam vibho prartaye brajamahendra nandana astu mohan tavati ballabha janma janmani marisvari. First I offer my unlimited obeisances in the dust of the lotus feet of my most worshipful Diksha Gurudev. This doesn't get louder. Nitya Lila Pravishta Om Vishnupad Astotra Sat Shishiman Srila Bhakti Vedanta Swami Prabhupada. And the same unlimited obeisances in the dust of the lotus feet of my most worshipful Shiksha Gurudev, Nitya Lila Parishta Om Vishnupad, Asto to the Sat Shri Shrimad Srila Bhakti Vedanta Narayan Goswami Maharaj, Srila Bhakti Vigyan Bharati Goswami Maharaj, to our Param Gurudevs, Srila Bhakti Pragyan Keshava Goswami Maharaj, and Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur Prabhupada, to all of his divine associates, to all the assembled devotees, and to the assembled devotees, Diksha Gurus who are my Shiksha Gurus, Shri Srimad Bhakti Vedanta, Madhav Maharaj, Shri Srimad Bhakti Vedanta, Ban Maharaj and Shri Srimad Bhakti Vedanta, Siddhanti Maharaj. So, we are going to travel today. So I hope everybody's packed up with warm clothes, everything that you need, tents, toothbrushes. And now, Vasanti, who's never cheap on spending money for the Lord's service, has chartered a big bus that we're all going to jump on now and go to the airport. And here we are at the airport, and we're on the way to Delhi, and here we are in Delhi. We're going to take another bus. She's chartered another bus to go to Vrindavan. And now we're going back in time to yesterday, because we're going back to the Jamuna, where we did Sankalpa. And now, because Gurudev added something, so I want to share with you what Srila Gurudev added. You know how at the end of the Sankalpa mantras, we say Krishna Bhakti Labharte, because you say what we're doing this Vraj for is for Krishna Bhakti. So Shripad Bhakti Vedanta Tirtha Maharaj, he was doing the main mantras like we did yesterday, but then Gurudev added that it's for Vraj Mandala Parikrama, the success of Vraj Mandala Parikrama, Kartik Niyam Seva, Urja Vrat, Palana, means for the nourishment of Urja Vrat, and Tadya means all of the pure devotees, all of the holy places. Prema Bhakti Labhartam. And then Gurudev starts saying, is this what I'm quoting from? So then Gurudev, all of a sudden, he added more. And he said Jamuna, because everyone is in front of Jamuna. Jamuna is Krishna's dear one, his beloved. So she can fulfill all of our desires for this Vraj Mandala Parikrama, for Niyam Seva, that we can lovingly follow all the rules and regulations, the do's and the don'ts, like don't criticize, do tell the truth, don't sleep on a bed, sleep on the earth. Then maybe we can chant that kirtan. Hari Hari Kabe More, Habe Vrindavana Basi. When will I give up attachment to my soft bed and sleep on the ground of Vrindavan, the dust of Vrindavan? When will I give up the 6 tastes, like especially in this temple? 6 tastes of blessed bites, then birthday cake, and just be satisfied with madhukari, just begging from the homes of the Vrijabasis. So Jamuna can give the fulfillment of Urja Brat. Urja means power. And who is Krishna's power? Radha, by whom he can do anything. And what else can Jamuna she can give success in Vraj Mandala Parikrama, Niyam Seva, Urja Brat, and the dust of Srimati Radhika's lotus feet. So he said, "O Jamuna, we pray to you." And then he said, "Okay, now you can sing the Jamunastakam." So we're rewinding, and now we sang Jamunastakam. Now we're finished. So then Gurudev said, he wasn't finished. Now we will go to Gokulananda, the temple of Gokulananda, and then we will go back to the mud and make our offerings to Srila Param Gurudev. Then all of a sudden, he said, there was once a big demon, and this demon heard from Kamsa that you go to Vrindavan and kill Krishna. How will you recognize Krishna? He will be blackish. He will have a peacock feather on his hair. He will be playing a flute, and he will be dressed in pitambara, in a yellow shiny garment. So it just happened, the demon turned into a horse called Keshi. And the Keshi Ghat was right near where we are now in the Jamuna. It's just a few feet away. So it just so happened that just before Keshi got there, giant horse, loud neighing, Madhumangal said to Krishna, "Krishna, I know why you're so popular around here. It's not because of you and why you get all the ladus and I don't get any. It's just because you wear this brilliant pitambara, yellow cloth, and you have this flute, and you have a peacock feather in your hair. So if you give it to me, then I will be the most popular and I will get all the ladus." Krishna said, "No problem, here." And he immediately gave him everything. And that's when Keshi arrived. And he saw Madhumangal, who he mistook for Krishna because he played all the parts. And then he kicked with his hind legs. He didn't touch Madhumangal, but just by the air from his hoofs, his big kick, just by the air, Madhumangal flew way backwards. And then Madhumangal went to Krishna and he said, "Here, take back your pitambara. I don't want it. Take back all these items. I don't want it anymore." So then Krishna took everything back, and then Keshi came again and actually kicked Krishna. But he wasn't he wasn't fazed at all. So then he killed the demon Keshi. This is all standing by the bank of the Jamuna. And then Gurudev gave a warning. He said, Rupa Goswami said, "Don't go to Vrindavan. Your wife will weep or your husband will weep. And if you go to Vrindavan, then don't go to Keshi Ghat. But if you end up going to Keshi Ghat, don't go to see Govinda, who's standing there in a threefold bending form. Otherwise, you'll forget all of your society, friendship, and love. Your family will be weeping for you that you've left them, and you'll be weeping for Krishna. Oh, Govinda, where are you? Where are you?" And you'll end up sleeping under a different tree every night. You become like a bird lost in the forest, sleeping under a different tree every night. Like who? Like the Goswamis. And then he started singing Goswami Astakam. So then he said, if you want to have any love and affection for your family, then don't go to see Krishna, otherwise he'll attract you. Yes, yes, actually, then somebody started singing that. Yeah, can we take 5 minutes to sing that? Okay, everybody can get out their songbooks. Here, where are we now? We're at Keshigat. We're at the banks of the Jamuna, having just done Sankalpa. Where is the songbook? And Mantri will lead us in
Should I do
this
it
kirtan.
that way, that faster way?
Yeah.
Okay.
What page?
124.
Okay.
Could you hand me some cartels, somebody? It's also together on this side. Oh, is this yours? Sorry. 124. Or is it here? Bandhu sange jadi tava. Oh, sorry, wrong tune. What did I sing just a minute ago? Bandhu sange jadi tava ranga parihas. 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 Thake abhilas, thake abhilas, thake abhilas, thake abhilas, thake abhilas. Bandhu sange jadi tava ranga parihas. Bandhu sange jadi tava ranga parihas. Tabe mora katha rakho, bolo tabe mora katha rakho, jeo nako, tabe mora katha rakho, jeo nako, jeo. Mathura keshi tirtha ghate rasakash. Mathura keshi tirtha ghate rasakash. Bandhu sange jadi tava ranga parihas. Bandhu sange jadi tava ranga parihas. Govinda vigraha dori tathaye achena hari. Nayane bankima drishti mukhe mandahas. Nayane bankima drishti mukhe mandahas. Kibatri bangama tamo vana samujwala shyam. Navakishalaya shobha shri ange prakash. Navakishalaya shobha shri ange prakash. Bolo bandhu sange jadi tava ranga parihas. Bandhu sange jadi tava ranga parihas. Adhane vangsiti tar anarthena muladhar. Adhane vangsiti tar, adhane vangsiti tar, anarthena muladhar. Adhane vangsiti tar, anarthena muladhar. Shiki chura ke o bhai koro na vishwas. Shiki chura ke o bhai koro na vishwas. Se murti nayale heri keho nahi ghare phire. Sangsari grihire je go hoy sarvanash. gihire jego hoy sarvana tai mor man bado tras tai mor mane bado tras sansari grihire jego hoy sarvanash sansari grihire jego hoy sarvanash bandhu sange jadi tava rang parihas bandhu sange jadi tava rang parihas घाटी में भी पड़े भरी जय न के है संसारी घाटी में भी पड़ा भरी जय न को है संसारी मथुराय कृषि तीर्थ घाट रसकाश मथुराय कृषि तीर्थ घाट रसकाश O Mathurai Keshi Tirtha Ghate Rasakash Mathurai Keshi Tirtha Ghate Rasakash Bolo Bandhu Sange Jadi Tava Ranga Parihas Bandhu Sange Jadi Tava Ranga Parihas Bolo Bandhu Sange Jadi Tava Ranga Parihas Bandhu Sange Jadi Tava Ranga Thake Abhilas Bandhu Sange Jadi Tava Ranga Parihas Bandhu Sange Jadi Tava Ranga Jaya Radhe Jaya Krishna Jaya Radhe Jaya Krishna Jaya Radhe Jaya Krishna Jaya Radhe Jaya Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. If you have the desire to have fun and laugh with friends, hee ha ha, then heed my words, Sakhi. Don't go near Keshi Ghat in Mathura. There, Sri Hari has taken the form of Govinda, whose eyes are graced with a crooked glance, whose mouth is graced with a gentle smile. How captivating is his threefold bending pose, replete with a radiant blackish complexion and limbs as lovely as tender new leaves. The flute on his lips is the cause of great peril. O brothers, O sisters, have no faith in that crest of peacock feathers. Upon beholding that form with the eyes, no one ever returns home. The family life of a householder who does so becomes completely destroyed. This is the great fear of my mind. A grave calamity will occur, O householder, so don't go near Keshi Ghat in Mathura. Evil. Mathura Mandala, the whole. Yes. Haribo.
Okay, so here we are at Keshi Ghat at Jamuna, having just done Sankalpa, and we didn't yet roll in the dust when we arrived in Vrindavan. That's my fault. Let's roll in the dust here, putting the dust at the Jamuna on our eyes, on our head, on our eyelids, in our mouth, on our tongue, and on our heart. And now let's do Achman of Jamuna. Om Keshavaya Namah, Om Narayanaya Namaha, Om Madhavaya Namah, Om Govindaya Namah, Om Vishnave Namah. And let's jump in for a moment, swim around, come out, dry off, go back to the mutt, glorify Param Gurudev, Now it's the next day. And we're going on the first day of Parikrama. Today we'll be going to where Gurudev usually goes first, which is right next door to where we stayed overnight. I hope you're all comfortable. We stayed at, or here we are at, Gopinath Gaudiya Math. Very beautiful place that Gurudev provided especially for Westerners. I'm sorry, Gopinath Bhavan, you're right. And so it's just a hop, skip, and jump from here. And here we are. Visanti's our Panda. She's taking us from where we are right now, which is, can somebody take charge of the phone so that it travels with our eyes? Here we are at beautiful Gopinath Bhavan. Now we're coming down the ramp, coming down the stairs, turning to the left. What? Darshan of? Oh, Radha Gopinath, yes. Here's Radha Gopinath. We offer our flat obeisances. And then we go out. Turn left. And we're passing by Emli Tala, which we'll visit very soon. But right now we're just offering our obeisances. And when we actually go there, we'll say the prayer to Imli Tala. And then we're continuing to go left, and we're coming to Kaliya Hrida, or very beautiful, or Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama. And here we are at Kaliya Ghat. Very beautiful, constructed actually at Srila Gurudev's expense and by his disciples. And now we're about to hear all about Kaliya Nag, the snake, and Kaliya Ghat from none other than our fearless president, Visanti Devi Dasi. And I guess you'll speak from where you are so that you can show the different angles. So if everyone can turn around to Visanti. No, we can't, because we have to.
Yeah, that's better than I can.
Yeah, so we'll look at what she's showing us and what she's telling. Okay.
Okay. So, by the causeless mercy, Shri Shri Guru and Gauranga, we are starting our Vraj Mandala Parikrama. Jai, Shri Gurudev Ki Jai. And we have come to this holy place on the bank of the Jamuna called Kaliya Ghat, also known as Kaliya Hrida and Kaliya Daha. Hrida and Daha both mean a deep pond within a river. So it's a deep lake within the Jamuna River. Well, I probably won't be able to show too many different angles, but I do have a little video I'm going to show at the end. Okay, so first I'm going to read a little bit from Srila Gurudev's Parikrama book. And, but this is the, it's going to be distracting if I show pictures, but this is really sweet. That one of Gurudev's disciples paid to have done. There's Kaliya. Okay, so the current name of this place is Kaliya Daha. Shri Krishna subdued the serpent Kaliya here. The Kali Kadamba tree, the picture we saw before, from which Shri Krishna jumped with great speed into the Kaliya Hrida, stands nearby. All of the trees and creepers around the lake around the lake were burned to ashes by the poison of the Kalia serpent. Only this one Kali Kadamba tree remained, because the mighty and valiant Garuda was once carrying a pot of nectar from the heavenly planets in order to free his mother, Vinata, from the slavery of his stepmother, Kadru. And he rested on this tree for some time, and the strength of the nectar's fragrance, or a drop of the nectar itself that had spilled, was enough to save this Kali Kadamba tree. So when Garuda actually had this nectar dropped that he was carrying, it dropped in 4 or 5 places, I believe. And those places became so holy due to that's where every 4 years, those places, that's where the Kumbh Mela is held, because of Garuda, where Garuda dropped his nectar. But here, when even more special is that this tree didn't burn by Kalia's fire. He was emitting fire. There was, because of his poison, there was like ruptures, like volcanoes of fire coming up from underneath and bubbling of up in the Jamuna because of the fire that he was spitting. Kalia Nag was so valiant and powerful. Oh. When he tied Krishna in his coils, so Krishna, actually, when Krishna went out to herd cows this day, he left Balaram at home. And he came out, and then he came in contact with this serpent, this demon serpent, Kalia. Gurdev says, when he tied Krishna in his coils, Krishna became somewhat helpless and motionless. At that time, the Nagapatnis, the wives of Kalia, who were great devotees of Krishna. So, because this isn't just to back up or interject into Gurdev's words here, because he explains it more elaborately in other places, because this book is very condensed, because it's full of all the holy places of Vraj, Mandala, Parikrama. When Krishna needed to tame the Kalia serpent because he was causing such havoc in Vrindavan, especially the Jamuna, everyone was getting sick, and the fish were dying, and sorry, I wanted to show this picture, but not happening. Then, all right, forget it. Sorry, it's too distracting. We'll go back. Then Krishna goes to the top of this Kali Kadamba tree, and he gets redressed. He redoes his turban, and he puts his dhoti up, and he jumps in from the top of the tree, and he jumps into the water. And actually, when the Brajvasis heard about what was happening, they all came, and they were so overwhelmed and distressed. Nanda Baba was fainting. Mother Shoda was fainting. The gopis were, all they could do to stay alive was to talk about Krishna's pastimes. And then Balaram, who didn't go that day, he starts to tell them that, oh, don't worry. And he starts praising all of Krishna's glories and how strong he is. And right when Balaram finishes his glorification, then Krishna comes out of being all tied up in the 1,000 coils of Kalia, and he starts dancing on Krishna's hoods, which I have a really cool video of. Can I show that now?
Bum, 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 that one.
Yeah. So meanwhile, even the demigods, even the,
Can you show a close-up of that Krishna dancing?
yeah,
It looks beautiful from afar.
I know.
I think if you just scroll down a little bit more, it might pop up.
Yeah, I don't know why it shows it there, but then it doesn't show it when I clicked on it.
You can
Huh?
right click, open a new tab on the image.
Oh. Oh my God, now I have so many things. Oh.
There you go. Oh, it's a bas relief kind of looking
Wow.
thing.
Okay, so sorry, now my WhatsApp closed.
My goodness, clean your desktop.
If I had time, Since Govinda Priya couldn't come due to health, she was supposed to be here.
Scapegoating, going to fear.
There we go.
But then you gotta do the volume on the YouTube.
Okay, wait, hold on. So, oh yeah, thanks. Okay, so even the demigods were seeing what was happening with Krishna and Kaliya in this battle. That they were playing instruments, and then they start singing their mantra. These mantras, tatai. What is it?
I don't remember. It's a song by Surdas.
Kali Kanapur says is the demigods.
Can it be loud?
Oh. So, so the Nagapatnis, Kaliya's wives, started to pray, but they didn't pray at the beginning of their quarrel, at the beginning of the fight, because they were thinking that our husband is such a demon, maybe he deserves to die. But then, as he's starting to surrender to Krishna, then they prayed for him. And because of their prayers, Kaliya is so fortunate because his wives he had 1,000 wives. Kurdi said there was one very, very prominent devoted. Because of their prayers, then Krishna has mercy on Kaliya. And we need the mercy of the sadhus. Everybody says their prayers, they spared their husband. Because of their prayers, they spared their husband's life, considering his surrendered mood. Their prayers pleased Sri Krishna. He granted Kaliya Nag freedom from feet and ordered him to go Ramanakadweep with his family. He assured Kaliya of his protection, saying, "You need no longer fear Garuda. When he sees my footprints on your hoods, he will forget his enmity towards you." The Nagapatnis prayed as followed. Someone help. Kashyanu Bhavos Yana Deva Vidmahe. Someone. This is a super important prayer. I have it open here somewhere. Okay, so the Nagapatnis prayed, Kashyanu Bhavos Yana Deva Vidmahe Tavangri Renu Sparashadikara Yadvanchaya Shri Lalanacharatapo Vihaya Kamam Suchiram Dritavrata. O Lord, we do not know how the serpent Kaliya attained such an opportunity to be touched by the dust of your lotus feet. For this end, the goddess of fortune performed austerities for centuries, giving up all other desires and observing austere vows. Indeed, We do not know how this serpent Kalia got such an opportunity. So we'll hear more about the austerities of Lakshmi Devi in a few days when we go to Bailvan. So they're praying like this. And so in a previous life, Kalia, I'll just tell his backstory. Kalia, there was a king, and there was no rain in the kingdom. So, was that how it started? Was it the king? And who tells him to go to worship the sage? Hold on, sorry. Shamrai, who tells the king to go worship the sage? Oh, one of the Brahmins, right? I don't remember. Okay. He was told to, yeah. So he was told to go to a certain sage, living under a tree, and to worship him, wash his lotus feet, and drink the charnamrit from the potajal, and in this way, the kingdom, rain will come, and the kingdom will flourish. So he went, and he washed the sage's feet, but then he realized as he was doing so that the sage had leprosy. And then he's thinking, I can't drink this water from this potajal, this water from his feet. He has leprosy. So he decides, he puts it on his head instead. He doesn't drink it. And then the sage said, oh, you're so envious. You pose as a great king, but due to your envy, you not following directions, and you're not drinking the water that has bathed my feet. So I curse you to become a serpent. He said, but because you did put it on your head, then I'll bless you that then Krishna, after some time, Krishna will come and Krishna will dance on your head. So Gurudev explained this in a walk in Odessa, that the blessing and the curse of a great sage is equivalent, auspicious. So then this king, he became the serpent, Kalia, but he also received Krishna dancing on his hoods. What else? Maybe Shamrai, you can talk about the high stuff, like the Purvarag and stuff.
In the Krishna book, there's a backstory of why Kalia ended up there.
Oh, yeah.
Because of his enmity with
Garuda?
Well, I have to find it. The problem is that, I don't mean to complain during Kartik, but here we go. In the original Krishna book, Prabhupada had the artist do a painting of Kalia and Garuda in combat. He also had the artist do a painting of the cowherd boys had all fallen unconscious from the vapor of Kalia's poison coming out of him. So they were like dead. And then Krishna glanced over them, and by that glance they were brought back to life. They couldn't give Krishna the credit for it because there's no Aishwarya in Vrindavan. But they realized that they came back to life. And so what happened was, when they printed, well, I'll take the blame too, because I was part of the deciding factors of what pictures went in the books in those days. And so those paintings of Kalia fighting with Garuda were taken out of the next printing because it wasn't as technically good. But there was a point in 1974 when Ramaswara Prabhu, who was the BBT trustee, he showed Prabhupada later version of the book that we wanted to go to press, but it was without those early paintings. And Prabhupada said, well, what do you have to replace it? Instead, we had general, better technically paintings, but they didn't cover the exact scene. So Prabhupada came very, very angry, clenching his fist, threw the papers that Ramaswara was showing them on the ground. This story of the fury is in, if somehow or other that can go on the live stream. And he said, if you don't have anything to exactly replace it, then you can't take it out. And he said, these ISKCON paintings, these paintings in the Krishna book are ISKCON mottos. Mottos.
It's a beautiful painting. Jai.
Yeah, it
Let's
is.
put it back in.
Yeah.
She found the story. She said.
All right, let's go. Let's go with the story. It's a beautiful story.
Okay. Kalia tried to fight Garuda. Oh, wait. I'll read the. Huh? Oh, well, this is the purport. Let's see. I think it's a different book. Yeah. King Parikshit, after hearing of the chastisement of Kalia, inquired from Sukadeva Goswami as to why Kalia left his beautiful land and why Garuda was so antagonistic to him. Sukadeva Goswami informed the king that the island known as Nagalaya was inhabited by serpents and that Kalia was one of the chief serpents there. Being accustomed to eating snakes, Garuda used to come to this island and kill many serpents at will. Some of them he actually ate, but some were unnecessarily killed. The reptile society became so disturbed that their leader, Vasuki, appealed to Lord Brahma for protection. Lord Brahma made an arrangement by which Garuda would not create a disturbance on each half-moon day. The reptile community would offer a serpent to Garuda. The serpent was to be kept underneath a tree as a sacrificial offering to Garuda. Garuda was satisfied with this offering, and therefore he did not disturb any other serpents. But gradually, Kalia took advantage of the situation. He was unnecessarily puffed up by the volume of his accumulated poison, as well as by his material power, and he thought, why should Garuda be offered this sacrifice? He then ceased offering any sacrifice. Instead, he himself ate the offering intended for Garuda. When Garuda, the great devotee carrier of Vishnu, understood that Kalia was eating the offered sacrifices, he became very angry and rushed to the island to kill the offensive serpent. Kalia tried to fight Garuda and faced him with many hoods and poisonous teeth. Kalia attempted to bite him, and Garuda, the son of Tarksha, in great anger and with great force, befitting the carrier of Lord Vishnu, struck the body of Kalia with his effulgent golden wings. Kalia, who was also known as Kadru Sutta, the son of Kadru, immediately fled to the lake known as Kalia Hrida, which lay within the Jamuna River and which Garuda could not approach. Another reason that Krishna even killed so many demons, but he didn't kill Garuda. And he didn't kill Kalia also because Kalia had so much benefit, Skriti, from living in Vrindavan for so many years. Kalia took shelter within the water of the Jamuna for the following reason. Just as Garuda went to the island of the Kalia snake, he also used to go to the Jamuna to catch fish to eat. There was, however, a great yogi known as Sobari Muni who used to meditate within the water there and who was sympathetic with the fish. He asked Garuda not to come there and disturb the fish. Although Garuda was not under anyone's order, being the carrier of Lord Vishnu, he did not disobey the order of the great yogi. Instead of staying and eating many fish, he carried off one big fish, who was their leader. Subari Muni was sorry that one of the leaders of the fish was taken away by Garuda, and thinking of their protection, he cursed Garuda with the following words: "Henceforward from this day, if Garuda comes here to catch fish, then I say with all my strength he will be immediately killed." This curse was only known to Kaliya. Kaliya was therefore confident that Garuda would not be able to come there, and so he thought it wise to take shelter of the lake within the Jamuna. But Kaliya's taking shelter of Subari Muni was not successful. He was driven away from the Jamuna by Krishna, the master of Garuda. It may be noted that Garuda is directly related to the Supreme Personality of Godhead and is so powerful that he is never subject to anyone's order or curse. Actually, the cursing of Garuda, who is stated in Srimad Bhagavatam to be the stature of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Bhagavan, was an offense on the part of Subari Muni. Although Garuda did not try to retaliate, the Muni was not saved from his offensive act against a great Vaishnava personality. Due to this offense, Subari Muni fell down from his yogic position and afterwards became a householder, a sense enjoyer in the material world. The fall down of Subari Muni, who was supposed to be absorbed in spiritual bliss by meditation, is an instruction to the offenders of Vaishnavas. When Krishna finally came out of Kaliya's lake, he was seen by all his friends and relatives on the bank of the Jamuna. He appeared before them nicely decorated, smeared all over with chandan pulp, bedecked with valuable jewels and stones, and almost completely covered with gold. The inhabitants of Vrindavan, including the cowherd boys and men, the gopis, Mother Yashoda, Nanda Maharaj, and all the cows and calves saw Krishna coming from the Jamuna, and it was as though they had recovered their very life. When a person regains his life, naturally he becomes absorbed in pleasure and joyfulness. They each in turn pressed Krishna to their chests, and thus they felt a great relief. Mother Yashoda, Rohini, Maharaj Nanda, and the cowherd men became so happy as they embraced Krishna, they thought they had achieved their ultimate goal of life.
Now, you began reading chapter 17.
Her mic's not on.
I don't know.
Right?
Yeah.
If you go back to the previous chapter, the last two paragraphs of that chapter, it'll take you 1 minute.
Okay,
It's
yeah,
just
go
2
on.
paragraphs. Anyone who hears,
I don't know. Do you have it there? 'Cause I don't.
anyone who hears the narration of the Kaliya serpent and his punishment will need fear no more the envious activities of snakes. The Lord also declared, if one takes a bath in the Kaliya lake, where his cowherd friends and I have bathed, or if one, fasting for a day, offers oblations to the forefathers from the water of this lake, he will be relieved of all kinds of sinful reaction. The Lord also assured Kaliya, you came here out of fear of Garuda, who wanted to eat you in the beautiful land by the ocean. Now, after seeing the marks where I have touched your head with my lotus feet, Garuda will not disturb you. The Lord was pleased with Kaliya and his wives. Immediately after hearing his order to go back to his island of Ramanak in Fiji, the wives began to worship him with great offerings of nice garments, flowers, garlands, jewels, ornaments, sandalwood pulp. Do you have that picture from the Krishna book? The wives are glorifying and offering lotus flowers and nice eatable fruits. In this way they pleased the master of Garuda, of whom they were very much afraid. Then, obeying the orders of Krishna, all of them left the lake within the Jamuna. Kaliya Damana Sri Krishna ki jai. Kaliya Hrida ki jai. So now, here we are at the lake, And we're going to do Achman here, and then jump in, swim around, and then come out and dry. Did we take the dust? We didn't take the dust here. Yeah, on our heads, on our eyelids, on our tongue, and on our heart.
Oh, Kalia gave Kalia gave him his ruby. Gave Krishna a gift of his ruby after their fight. After he surrendered to him.
Where does it say that?
Ananda Vrindavan Chunk.
Can you read it with a mic?
No,
Hmm?
I had to find it. Maybe.
Okay, you can always tell later.
Later, yeah. We still got a few places still to go.
Okay. Anything else, Vasanti?
Kalia Daha Ki.
Jai.
Okay, now let's just take a short walk behind Kaliyadaha, and we come to the Samadhi of Srila Prabodhananda Saraswati, who wrote a book called Radha Rasa Surdhanidhi, which is very beautiful prayers for Manjari Bhav. Like, for example, what's one of his prayers?
He prays to be the broom used by the Sakis.
Okay, do you remember that? Do you remember that verse? Yata kinkari subhuda kalukakuvani nitya parasya purusha shash shikanda mole tasya kadela sanidir prishabhanu jayas tata keli kunja bhavanang ganamarjani sham. And what is the meaning? Who will read the meaning? Do you remember, Haridas?
Not right.
Okay. So, Srila Prabodhananda Saraswati is praying that Krishna propitiates the Manjaris there in the courtyard of Srimati Radhika and begs them to allow him to come and have darshan and fall at the feet of Srimati Radhika to break her man. So he's praying, when will I become one stick on the broom that sweeps your courtyard? He doesn't really want to become a stick in the broom. He wants to become a maidservant of Radhika. But that just means he's expressing his humility. And what's another one of his prayers? Yasya kadapi vasananchalah kelanota. Can you put on the light? Unless we're showing. Tanyati tanya pavanen kritartamani yogendra durga magati madhusudanopi tasya namastu vishabhanu bhuvodishepi. What does that mean? Okay, so basically, Radhika's in Man because Krishna did something wrong. She won't forgive him. He goes to the other side of Radhakund, lamenting that he won't be forgiven. And so, because everybody in Vrindavan is fully conscious, fully in rapture, the air decides to do some service. So the air goes under Radhika's veil, catches her fragrance, and carries that over Radhakund to the other side where Krishna is lamenting, and goes underneath Krishna's nostrils. So that Krishna, which cannot be approached by great yogis and demigods, is feeling his life successful because he thinks he's attained Radhika because she's non-different from her fragrance. So therefore I'm, as you said, Manjari, I'm offering my obeisances to the direction of the dust of the lotus feet of Srimati Radhika. Again, that's another prayer for Manjari Bhav. Is there another one that we can remember? Kaler, Kali Kaler Balina Indriya Vairi Varga Shri Bhakti Marga Iha Kantaka Ko Tirudha Ha Ha Koyami Vikala Kemaham Karomi Chaitanya Chandra Yadi Nadya Kripa Karosi. Vasanti, do you know the translation? Can you use the mic? See, now it's the age of Kali.
My
My senses
my
are
senses
very
are
strong.
strong. The like brambles on the
My path to bhakti
it's
is full of brambles. Like, did you ever see these when you were a Karmi? Did you ever see these old Western movies where on the paths
Yeah, like Roadrunner.
there's giant, thorny, round brambles that roll along and collect more brambles and dust? So my path of bhakti is filled with such brambles. What am I to do? Where am I to go? Oh, Chaitanya Chandra, if you don't give me your shelter right now, then I have nowhere to go. And what about Yo Brahma? Vasanti's pointing to her watch. So, what page is he on, Prabodhananda Saraswati? Yeah, 176. 576. Let's go there. Do you have his Bhajan Kutir up? Yes. Sri Prabodhananda Saraswati's Bhajan Kuti and Samadhi. Sri Prabodhananda Saraswati is the author of Radha Rasa Shuddha Nidhi. It's Rasa, not Rasa. Radha Rasa Shuddha Nidhi. Vrindavan Mahimamrita, which is the glory of Sri Vrindavan Dham, and the gopis, and the maidservants, and Radha and Krishna. Sri Chaitanya Chandramrita, Sangita Madhava, and other books on bhakti. In his early life, Prabodhananda Saraswati was a resident of Sri Rangam and a devotee of Sri Lakshmi Narayan. Sri Gopal Bhatta Goswami, he was the spiritual master and also uncle of the famous Sri Gopal Bhatta Goswami. However, by the mercy of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he became intoxicated with the ras of the divine couple, Shri Radha and Krishna. Shortly after Chaitanya Mahaprabhu left Sri Rangam is way down south, in South India. And Venkata, 3 brothers, Venkata, Bimala, and Prabodhananda Saraswati were 3 brothers, and the single descendant, Gopal Bhatta, he was the son of Venkata Bhatt. And when Chaitanya Mahaprabhu visited their house and stayed there for the 4 months of the rainy season, they gave him a room outside of their house near the river, Kaveri. And they would meet regularly, and Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and them would engage in very friendly talks. But Mahaprabhu would criticize their worship of Lakshmi Narayan, that Lakshmi tried so hard to enter Vrindavan, to enter to enter the rasa dance, but she wasn't qualified, and Krishna rejected her. But you never see any gopis going to Lord Narayan. Rather, when Krishna hid from the gopis, when he left the rasa arena, and he took 2 extra arms outside of his stomach in a place that later on be called Paita Graum, or the village of the stomach, where Krishna took 2 extra arms. And when the gopis who were running to find Krishna saw Lord Krishna in the guise of Narayan, oh, obeisances to you. Can you tell us where Krishna went? And then they ran off. But what happened? Radharani came later, and her followers, her maidservants, were behind her. So when Radharani saw Krishna in the form of Lord Narayan, because he's controlled by Radharani, he couldn't hide from her. So his 2 arms kept going back into his stomach. And who also saw that?
All the Manjaris and Sakis.
Yes, all the Manjaris and Sakis who were following Srimati Radhika also saw Krishna's surrender in that way. So Srila Bharati Maharaj, who told this pastime, said, so if you become a follower of Radharani, then Krishna will be revealed to you. He won't be able to hide. One of the very, very first things that Gurudev ever told me in Mathura when I first met him, he said, you are pursuing Krishna, but if you become a Palyadasi of Srimati Radhika, unpaid maidservant of Srimati Radhika, then Krishna will pursue you. So, by the mercy of Mahaprabhu, he became intoxicated with the ras of the divine couple. Shortly after Mahaprabhu left Srirangam, he went to Vrindavan to perform bhajan. He also lived in Kamyavan for some time. At the end of his life, he entered Samadhi here in Vrindavan at this place while performing bhajan. In Krishna's pastimes, he is Tunga Vidyasaki. Nowadays, some people say that Prabodhananda Saraswati and the Advaitavadi, the Mayavadi, the impersonalist, Prakashananda Saraswati of Kashi, are one and the same person. This is completely incorrect. In fact, in the next edition of the 5 essays book, Gurudev's 5 essays book that they're in the middle of preparing to reprint now, there's an entire article of Srila Gurudev proving that they're not the same person. But nowadays, some people preach that they are. So Gurudev's very simple argument here, this is completely incorrect in every respect. How is it possible for the same person to first be the devotee, Prabodhananda Saraswati, and then the impersonalist, Prakashananda Saraswati, and then the same Prabodhananda Saraswati once again? This modern doctrine is an ignorant, mind-boggling speculation that has been completely refuted by the Sri Gaudiya Vaishnava Acharyas. Srila Prabodhananda Saraswati Thakur ki jai. So did you see, Vasanti, did you show his bhajan kuti inside?
We did, yeah.
Okay.
Sharani, I'm wondering if we end now and go to Madan Mohan tonight, because we have a meeting.
Meeting at noon
We have a
with
meeting at
Mr.
noon, and we
Ludlow.
kind of need to clean
With
up.
who?
Mr. Ludlow.
Ludlow and, what's his name?
Mayunga.
Huh?
Mayunga.
Ayunga,
The
they're,
art people.
pardon?
The art people.
The art people from the black community. They're big. Ludlow's very big in Miami, bringing art.
All right, so that's at 12 o'clock,
Well, he's coming at 11:50, and I feel like we should clean up.
11:50.
Yeah.
Oh.
Clean up.
I see, so we want to make the temple look beautiful.
Yeah.
Okay, that sounds like a good,
They're very excited to meet you and to see the art,
okay.
to just explore opportunities together.
It's good that you got the last two up. All right, so, yes,
Can I share just one last thing? I
if you
remember
take the mic,
about Kalia,
yes.
just for a couple of minutes, and then devotees can read further on.
Can somebody turn the,
Hare Krishna. So this just about Kalia, that what really changed my life, my spiritual life, early on, hearing from Srila Gurudev about the anarthas of that Kalia Nag represents for sadhaks, and that is, this is from an article of Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati, but this is what Gurudev also explains, that Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati says, Kalia is the type of cunning and malice. He is the embodiment of unrelenting cruelty. There is no place for Kalia in the happy realm of Vraj. Deceit and cruelty are as poison to the artless, loving nature of the denizens of Vraj. So what Gurudev had explained early on is that one thing about Kalia and the anartha that represents for us is that even though he was in the middle of sadhu sangha, so many wonderful opportunities in Vraj, in Vrindavan, immersed in Yamuna, and yet he was not able to receive any, he wasn't in his heart able to feel that. And Gurudev said he imagined that Garuda was his enemy. Garuda is not. He's a pure devotee. He doesn't have enmity towards anyone. But Kalia felt, oh, he doesn't like me. Why is he doing that to me? This attitude, the Kalia attitude. Huh? Taking my fish, doing this. And he was imagining that Garuda was always harassing him. So what Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati says is that basically he was, just to paraphrase, unable to feel the love and blessings coming from Garuda and Vrindavan and all the Vaishnavas. In fact, he felt like it was torture and harassment. And so anyway, very deep, deep spiritual teachings in this pastime that are life-changing for the devotee. And I can share this article and we can read more on our own. Well, one is that this cruelty and maliciousness is something to a certain extent in the heart of every sadhaka, that envy, cruelty, and maliciousness towards Vaishnavas, but also specifically that there are wolf in sheep's clothing who come into the Vaishnava community and they're actually like a Kaliya, and they want to poison the hearts and minds of the devotees against Krishna. They want to take away all of Krishna's, they want to deprive Krishna of the service of his beloved devotees. And they think they can do that by their whatever, talking and behavior and poisoning the atmosphere. And they can even be in a disguise of using Shastra and using bhakti itself, like in a twisted disguise, to try and cheat sincere, simple people away from their developing their connection with bhakti. So that's one of the teachings, but it can also be that something within the hearts of the sadhaks themselves.
and also you said he imagined
Yes.
Garuda to be his enemy, so sometimes we imagine Vaishnavas to be our enemy, but really they're showing us mercy.
Right. So that was life-changing for me, and I love this pastime. Haribol.
Great. And also, he, what was that? Oh, it slipped. Yeah, I don't remember. Hmm? What? Yeah, I don't remember. It just came and left. All right. Kaliya Damana Sri Krishna ki jai. Hare Hare Rama Hare Rama 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 Nitai Gora Hari Bo Hari Bo Hari Bo Gora Nitai Gora Hari Bo Hari Bo Gora. Oh, it came back by the Hari Bo. He thought that Garuda was killing the snakes. He didn't realize that whoever Garuda eats, he gets liberated. Okay. Cha patitanam pavanebhyo